Guys, I don't think you know, but I got a puppy, and her name's Kona. What do you have in your mouth? Her name's Kona, and this is Kona. She's a German Shepherd Husky mixed, and she just came into my room, so I thought I would show her to you guys. Say hi. Hi. Hey, what is up, beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, I'm Olivia, and this is my YouTube channel. And today's video, we are going to talk about freshman advice. I'm going into my sophomore year, and so I thought since I was a freshman last year, I would give some of my own advice on how to make your freshman year better, because I know going into high school and going into your own freshman year and going to a totally different school is just super nerve-wracking, and so I thought I would give my own kind of advice to freshmen out there who are going into high school for the very first time. And so yeah, let's just get on started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about drama, because that is one of the biggest things of just school in general once you get into middle school and high school. So this could go to middle schoolers or high schoolers who are starting off their school year. So my advice is to stay as far away from drama as you can. Drama is just honestly the stupidest thing ever, because just think about it. In a couple years, once you're out of high school, it isn't really going to even matter. Even a couple months, it's not going to even matter because it is over and done with. So if you actually like hearing about stuff that's going on in your school but you don't want to get involved, is just to hear about it and then just kind of just not get involved with it. It's pretty easy. But if you just don't want any kind of drama, if you see drama, if you hear drama, just be like, nope, I don't want to hear about it, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's not going to really matter. So that is my advice on it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is dating. So a lot of people think dating in high school is like necessary, but really it's not. Like, yeah, you could like people here and there, but if they don't like you back or anything like that, it's okay, because you don't need a boyfriend or a girlfriend in high school, because yeah, like, it seems exciting, but if it's not really meant for you, then you don't have to have a relationship, because at the end of the day, it's school. Like, honestly, I would rather have a relationship out of school than in school. But that's just me personally. But if the person likes you and you like them, then go for it. Like, you can date somebody in high school and then end the relationship the same year. And it's okay to do that, because it's dating, it's your life. So you do what you want to do, but you are not obligated to have a relationship in school, because sometimes having a relationship in school can make your year. It can make your year 10 times better. You can have so much fun and have like a person to do a lot of things with. But if you aren't dating anybody, sometimes it's better to have no relationship, because you are just doing you're being your own person, and you're just doing what you want to do, instead of having that person to always be there with you and stuff. It's always good to have yourself just to worry about, and not another person in a relationship. But if you like the person, they like you, you are allowed to date them. But sometimes it's just better to have no relationship at all for the first year of high school, because you are focused and you get the hang of everything. Because I know my freshman year, I was completely lost. Like, I just had to get in the groove of everything, and at the end of the year, I was pretty happy with how my year turned out, because it was really good, and I didn't have a relationship, and it turned out to be a pretty good year. So you don't have to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend the first year of high school, because you could just do you and have the best time ever. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is actually grades. So if your parents are really strict on grades and you are having trouble in a class, I personally didn't do this, and I really should have, because I probably would have gotten a better grade in this one class. I did pretty good in all of my other classes except for one, and it was really bad, but I didn't fail the class, because at the end of the year I started getting a lot of help, and it started to make me feel a lot more confident about like me actually passing the class. I've always been really bad at math, but at the end of the year I started getting help from my teachers and everything, and it really helped me out with being more confident about how my grade was going to turn out. This year that I'm going into, I wanted to make sure that I had a plan, just in case I didn't get the math we were learning and I didn't want to fail this class, that I would actually do pretty good this year. I talked to my counselor and we made a plan to make sure that if I was having trouble with that class, that I would have the help to be able to like get instead of struggling all throughout the year. Because all throughout the year I was struggling so much with math and I would get really bad test scores on it and everything, but I did good enough to be able to pass the class, but I just wasn't confident and I wasn't happy with my own grade at the end of the year. I should have asked for help a lot earlier in the year, but I didn't. And so what I would recommend, if you're having trouble in a class and you are too scared to ask for help, it's okay to ask for help, because then you're also telling your teacher, like, I really want to help myself with this and I really want to get this grade up, and so they don't think that you're just taking the class just because and you really don't care about your grades. If you ask the teacher for help, then they will help you and they will understand that you're trying to do your best in this class. So I would personally ask for help, and I have learned that it really helps out. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is bullying. So I know a lot of people struggle with bullying. Personally, I've never really gotten bullied like at all, so I'm not the expert to talk about this, but I know a lot of you guys are going through bullying, so I want to try to get this out there on my opinion on what you should do. First thing I think you should do is, if it's like social media kind of cyberbullying, that's what it's called. If it's cyberbullying, block that person. Like, seriously, just block them, because you don't need them in your life to ruin it. Honestly, if you think about it, having them blocked instead of having them to keep putting you down is way better, because you just feel 10 times better and you feel more confident and you feel more safe and you feel more happy. So I would block them and I would just get them out. But if it's someone in person and they just keep putting you down, what I would do is I would either stand up to them. If a bully is saying stuff about you that you don't like, you are allowed to say, like, hey, back off. I would say stuff to them to make them feel like they're the one that's in the wrong and I'm not. Because personally, just bullying is just something to put people down on for people who are hurting inside. The bully is probably hurting inside and they just want to take it out on somebody else. But if it's coming to a point to where if they're hurting you, like, physically, and it's coming to the point where they're like making you think of doing stuff that you shouldn't be thinking about, you need to go talk to somebody, because talking to somebody about it is a lot easier. If it's being your best friend, your parent, your teacher, your just like anybody, they will help you. Honestly, it's better to get them in trouble than to let them keep doing this to you. So I would get help in a way to where if it's coming to that point to get them in trouble, who cares if people say like, oh, you're such a tattletale, or like, oh, wow, you couldn't put up with that. Like, no, you couldn't, because it was making you think of things that you shouldn't be thinking about. So that's what I'm saying, is that if it's coming to that point, then you really should get help. But if they're just cyberbullying you, block them and do everything you can just to get them out of your phone or anything. But if it's coming to like just them telling you stuff, I would stand up to them. I would personally stand up to them, but if you're not a person to stand up to the person, then just ignore them. Like, show that you're ignoring them so that they get it, that you really don't care what they're saying about you. That's another thing I would try to do, is I would try to ignore them, but it said stuff that was starting to hit, like, a point in my body to where it was making me really mad. I would stand up to them with words, not with hands or anything like that, but just stand up to them and talk to them, or just ignore them. Just in general, just ignore them and let them know that you don't care what they say about you. It's all up to you what you want to do, but that's personally what I would do in like certain ways of how I'm getting bullied. But like I said, I personally haven't gotten bullied, and I've gotten really lucky with that, but I know some of you have gotten bullied. I know that some of you just want help and you want advice, so that's my advice on bullying, and I really hope you can get through the year with smiles and happiness. So yeah, so that is all I could think about giving advice to you freshmen out there. But my last point of advice is to be happy, be you, and just to do what you want to do you. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and we will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah.